Hello, it's Fred, and this is Vlogmas 2020, day 11. Not that I said it yesterday, or that it matters. Just look at what date it is, and it's pretty much that day. Today's topic will be theater. Today's beer is barrel-aged vanilla bean stout from Avery Brewing. This can says, aged to enjoy every day, which I maintain makes 0 sense. This says it's a bourbon barrel-aged stout. Now, I mean, all beer has to be aged a certain amount, but I can't imagine this is aged any more than it should be. I had a nice heavy dinner, so you know what I really want to do is throw a giant stout on top of it. Oh. I really thought I had it. Vanilla-y. Not sure. I'll figure out what I feel like it tastes like once I get the rest in there and the foam subsides. So today's topic was something I had written down a while ago. I'm pretty much mostly prepared for the rest of these. I've got all my topics decided. I've got 2 more to write up. And tonight earlier, I had no motivation, so I was just looking at it, and I let my daughter choose a topic, and she's done some theater with me. She prefers the backstage, although sometimes she has auditioned for other things. She's definitely a person who doesn't necessarily want to do theater constantly, but likes to have fun with the show she likes. So my theater story is a short and not varied one. It's actually fairly varied, but it is short. The first show I remember being in was, hardly counts, it was kindergarten. And we were doing, what's that Christmas Story? Not A Christmas Story. I was much older than kindergarten when that came out. I can't remember because it's been years. The story everyone talks about. 8 Jolly Reindeer, whatever. The Christmas Story that I can't think of the name of, even though it's like literally the only thing I've grown up with. We've all grown up with. And I played the narrator. I had all the lines, and all I really remember about it was, because there was no way I was going to remember that entire poem, I had pieces of paper with like pictures of stockings and stuff that I had all the lines taped to so I could read them, which is pretty impressive for a kindergartner, really, but that's how that ended up doing that. And then I didn't do anything else until 8th grade. I started auditioning for shows. I was in all 3 shows that year. And then I think in high school I kind of avoided it till senior year. I got cast in a bit role in the spring musical that literally only had 2 lines. It got split into 2 characters just so each one of us could have a line. But I ended up failing a math class or something and got kicked out, so oh well. Then I went to college, and my first school, I believe I mentioned this before, was a small engineering management school where we had trouble finding 6 people to fill out the cast of a play. So I was in those for both years I was there. Then I transferred to a different state school with a theater program, and I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. Hold on a second. Still vanilla-y, not bad. Maybe a little too much vanilla. The flavored ones usually have too much of the flavor, but still pretty decent. So anyway, I kind of forgot about theater for years until I moved a few times, and all of a sudden one day kind of woke up and was like, oh, I bet this town has community theater. And sure enough, it did. And I auditioned and I got a show, and I've been doing things ever since. That's been 8-9 years ago. Some years I do a lot of things. Some years, aside from this year, which no one has been doing a lot of things, some years I don't do too much. Now, I definitely came to theater via acting, but because I have lots of theater friends now, and there's tons of theaters where I live, small and large, and professional, mostly community, a lot, like literally dozens of theater within a half-hour drive of here. I've had a lot of opportunities to do different things. Acting roles, certainly. I've done some writing. I've done some directing. I've won awards in both of those for small events at different theaters. some of which people think is silly, but it was still an award, no matter how poorly misspelled it may be. FYI, look up the spelling for playwright. It's easy to get that one wrong. So aside from acting and writing and directing, I've also done lights, both just spot operator and design and running the main board and sound as all of those, and built sets, designed sets, and pretty much done a lot of different things here and there just for the experience, the fun, and occasionally a small paycheck. Although I've never been paid for acting. I was even an extra in a movie. Some of those extras got paid. I did not. But I got to meet some cool Hollywood people and have craft services, which a lot of people in Hollywood talk about being a great thing, but we had our local grocery chain do it, and it was okay. It was fine. It's good. I happened to be between jobs, like when it filmed the scenes I was in, so I had no scheduling conflicts, which never happens. And I live in a non-California or New York state, so sometimes it's hard to find those opportunities at all. Checking my notes. Nope, that's pretty much everything I've done. Some of the things hold on. Other things, I mean, I've done stage crew and stage management. The thing of it is that, and I think this is true, movies and films, maybe to a lesser degree, although maybe not. Depends on what I say. I think it really is a good idea if you're doing that kind of thing. If you're involved in any kind of pursuit involving other people, that there are many different roles, try to get as many of those roles as possible. And in theater or acting, any of the acting thing, I don't just mean acting. Like, yes, that's a good way to approach it, but let's say you don't get a part in the show, or you really like a show and just not a part for you. You know, do backstage stuff, do ushering, just show up and help. They always need help. Even like touring companies hire local people to help things backstage with costuming and with set and everything else. So even if you don't, pardon. Even if you're not necessarily super involved in stuff, there's always things around. And as far as the whole, me not auditioning when I was at a school that had a theater major, there are parts I could have auditioned for, I found out later. I was way too intimidated. I grew up with theater kids. No way. So yeah, theater is one of my things. In fact, if you look elsewhere on this channel, I've posted one of the shows I directed. I've got on the Makes channel, eventually, I think I still need to do a voiceover and complete edit it, but I've got an idea of the process, or I have a rundown of the process of writing and producing a play all within a 24-hour period. Those are fun times. Whenever that happens, it'd be a good thing to watch. They're neat, and hopefully the story I tell based on it will work out. I'm kind of proud of at least the opening joke of that show. It was terrible. But other than checking out the rest of these videos and those videos and other channels, don't forget there's Fred Draws, Fred Makes, Fred Films, Fred. Fred's not even my real name. Figured it out. Also, still didn't look up another toast. So let's see. I'm on day 11. I've already burned through 10. Pretty much making things up as I go along. So, in the spirit of Hanukkah, let's review our first one, L'chaim.